Miami's Community News, and our guest today is the mayor of Cutler Bay, Tim Meerbott. Welcome, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Michael. I really appreciate the opportunity to come in and speak today.
So Cutler Bay certainly is a shining star in Miami-Dade County, and I've told you that before, that it went from below the middle, all right, to certainly near the top. And we see the growth that's going on there, making a beautiful place to live, and a very progressive and responsible management team there, from all the elected officials to the city manager. And you certainly have kept everything going, especially during these last couple of years, as people were wondering about their future. So there's an important issue that's coming up. So why don't you tell our people about it?
There is an important issue coming up, and thank you for those comments about Cutler Bay. It's one of the things I wanted to strive for is make sure that we always maintain a sense of community in Cutler Bay. That's always been real important to me. And I'm blessed to have a council around me, a staff around me, and quite honestly, a community around me that has that same belief. And we're all working together just to make Cutler Bay one of the best cities in all of Florida. So I'm very proud of us. So thank you very much. And yeah, we do have a big issue coming
Yes.
up. For many, many years, people have always been talking about the potato field. And the potato field is really 16 acres that are in the center, the heart of Cutler Bay. And the vision for as long as I can remember has been to find some place in Cutler Bay, some green space where we could create a central park, so to speak, a community area where people could gather. It would be the heart of the town, where we would have our municipal buildings, our town hall, our police department, and a rec center, a municipal center for the community to gather as well. And we finally have that opportunity to make that happen. This year, the council and I finally were able to complete the land swap of 16 acres in the heart of Cutler Bay. Now, this has been worked on for administrations well before us, so it wasn't just our project complete. This has been a lot of hard work trying to get this done, but we were finally able to get it done this year.
So you swapped out the current city hall for 16 acres. It was on Old Cutler in approximately what street?
It's Old Cutler in about 212th Street. And yeah, we swapped out our city hall. When many years ago, when we acquired our city hall building, we thought that we would be able to be good landlords, and so we would share our building with other tenants and lease it out. And that just wasn't the case. We were never able to get tenants, and it ended up being a losing proposition for us. So instead of having a city hall that was making money for us, it was a city hall that was losing money for us. So we had to cut the bleeding there.
All right. So, Andres, if we could go pull up the website for Cutler Bay. So let's talk about the vision of this town center.
Well, the vision, that's the process that we're in right now. The one thing that we wanted to make sure is that all of our residents knew exactly what was going on. That's why we decided to go with a general obligation bond vote by the people rather than just by the council, because this is a big step. It's the opportunity to the vision process. Let me go back to that. So what we did once we acquired the land, we had to decide what can possibly go there. And rather than go out and hire an architectural firm and spend a couple $100,000 for one idea, we went out to the University of Miami School of Architecture, and we worked with them. They had 20 of their best students have a project to design what this could be.
No kidding.
Yeah. So we did make a donation to the University of Miami School of Architecture, over $20,000. But we got, amazing projects. The creativity of these students is amazing. Now, all these projects also are peer reviewed by real architectural firms as well, and overseen by an architectural professor to try to make sure that these weren't just pie in the sky themes, but these things were actually doable.
So the plan is to have the city hall there and all the administrative buildings that are needed. Tell us about the other parts of the park.
Right. So it is 16 acres, and primarily we want to keep it a green space. Currently, we occupy just a little over 26,000 square feet in our current town hall, and we have a police department that is on the second floor, and it's basically an office building. So you imagine you're there getting your code enforcement or you're getting your permit, and the police bring one of their customers in wearing different bracelets than you. So they're marching, potential felons up to the second floor there for an office building rather than taking them to.
I'm here to get my permit. Where do I go?
Yeah. So it's, our police department work hard to keep us safe, and we deserve to give them a place where they can do business properly. So that's one of the aspects of it. We also would like to move our town hall over there. Again, we're leasing space now for our town hall. And we'd also like to create a municipal complex, a community room, or a recreation center. And again, these are just ideas that are kicking out there. It's, we haven't settled on an idea yet. We first have to go through the obligation bond, and then we can go back to the public again and say, okay, what do you want to build here? If you look at Key Biscayne built they spent like $100 million on their complex, and it's beautiful. I mean, it really is the heart and soul of Key Biscayne now. I can't imagine us going to that scale, but definitely we, just think that our community deserves something as nice as well.
So you've been involved with city government for how long now?
I was on this city council back in 2005 when we incorporated. And then I've been mayor now, for 3.5 years now.
So you've been talking to plenty of constituents over the years.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things that people told you? Gee, if this thing passes, this is what I'd like to see on the property.
Well, what we've done,
is some of that on the website?
Some is on the website, and we have these little pamphlets that you can pick up at town hall and other areas as well. And there's QR codes where you can take a survey and you can give your input on what you'd like to see there. So, I think we've got close to 1,000 responses. I'm not sure what the actual number is, of people saying what we'd like to see there. We've had a bunch of meetings, and people are telling us they would like to see things, walking paths, some water features, so where families could, just relax and enjoy the water, an amphitheater, so they could have some community events there. Again, the town hall, of course.
Okay. And so right now people can look on the video. Right below us is the web address that's there. So people want to be able to, if I got this right, mom and dad, or maybe it's just the mom with the kids, being able to walk down there, maybe some bicycles if they got young kids, to be able to do that and be able to sit along the way and sort of enjoy this so close to development, but yet, all right, this peaceful place.
Right. That's the idea. It was primarily for this to be mostly green. The vision process has, most of the concepts have 3 buildings on there, but again, that's not written in stone. We have to actually get some funds to go forward before we can actually start getting to the brass tacks of what's going to go there. So you can't get through step 2 without going through step 1. And step 1 of the general obligation bond, I think what we're doing is trying to make sure people understand what exactly it is. I think our town manager is like, this is sort of like having an equity line of credit. So you don't know what we're going to build yet, so you don't know how much money we're going to need, but we could possibly need up to $37 million.
So right now, this is by ballots that are mailed to people's homes?
Right. So the ballots are mailed to, if you're a registered voter in Cutler Bay, the ballots are going to be mailed to your home automatically. You don't have to request it. It's going to come in the mail. All you have to enter is going to be a real simple question. Do you want this bond to go through to build, 3 things specifically there? Municipal complex, park, and police department. And, it's much different. We did this many years ago, but we didn't know exactly. It was more vague of a question. We weren't sure if we had any land yet, where it was going to be. And I also included some economic development, so nobody was really sure what that was going to be. So this time we kind of have a real solid idea of what we want, and we want to make sure that people understand. This
and
is
where you want it, which is the 16 acres. Is there, forgive me because I'm not aware, what's next to it on the south side?
Well, on the south side, there are homes, and on the north side is a public shopping center. So one of the things that people have been asking for in Cutler Bay is more entertainment, restaurants, those types of things. And there's 3 acres on the west side of this property, which is to be perfectly suited for that. And also the Publix shopping center has some out parcels that also would be very well suited for it. So it could be a good mixture to create a gathering spot for the community. So it kind of reduces the need to drive anywhere. You don't have to drive to Kendall, Coral Gables.
So people can go over to the city hall to conduct their city business. Then they can walk right downstairs and walk out and have a seat in some wonderful chair that's built out there and look out.
Right. So the alternative is this. Again, so if we didn't do anything, if we would have not purchased those 16 acres, then the developer had the right to build up to 480 additional units there. So that 480 units, 2 or 3 cars per unit. 3 or 4 trips per day, you're talking about thousands of additional traffic if we would have done nothing.
And the city saw the wisdom in doing that. So you took that off the market,
Right.
which could have been thousands of cars a day,
Right.
people going in and out of their homes there, and you converted it to this public space, all right, which is going to be, for the most part, open space for the public when they're there.
Right.
So when will the ballots be mailed to people's homes?
The ballots are already out there. They're already in people's homes, and they have to be received back at the Department of Elections by March 22nd. So, don't wait until the 22nd to mail this.
And
Please
so they
go
just
ahead.
need to vote on it, seal it back up, and put it in the mailbox.
They also have to sign it, because if you
Right.
don't sign it, it doesn't count.
And they sign it on the outside?
They
like the
sign it
others?
on the outside, just like the other ones. So it's a simple question. The yes is the top answer, no is the bottom answer. You fill that bubble in, seal it up, you sign it, put it back.
And there's a
in,
number on it, right?
There's
On the envelope. Because when I thought when I couldn't remember whether I voted by absentee,
Yeah.
what I did with it, I called the elections department and I said, "This is whatever number. Okay, we have it. It's being processed."
I do believe they have a number on it, and also, as well, on the envelope, you can include your contact information. If there's a problem, for example, your signature doesn't match, they can email you or call you if you provide that information to them.
And that's so important in today's time and age because our signatures change over the years. And so this is a great time for people to protect themselves, to be able to also to be part of the future of Cutler Bay. And not just of Cutler Bay, but the surrounding areas. When people drive by, they look what Cutler Bay did. Look at this beautiful, beautiful park that's there. But
Right.
also City Hall.
Right.
And I'm really proud of that city, village, town. Right. of the progress that it and you all have made over the years. And you should be proud of the good work. And this certainly right here is going to add to that as far as the vision of the leaders.
Right. I'm proud of that as well. There's just having the opportunity. And I've said this before, but over 100 years ago, somebody, as they're building Manhattan, somebody said, "Hey, let's keep the middle of Manhattan green," and they created Central Park. And now that is the jewel of Manhattan.
Yes.
So Cutler Bay is this is our opportunity to have our Central Park or our legacy park where we can say, hey, we're going to keep it green. This is going to be a gathering spot for the community. It's going to be something we can be proud of. And it's with everything, obviously, there's a cost benefit here. Nothing is free. When you decided to invest in your home, you took out a mortgage because you thought it'd be beneficial for you long term. And this is Cutler Bay's opportunity to do something like that. It's not necessarily mortgage, like it's a home equity line of credit, but it's investing in our future. And it's our citizens' job to decide whether they want to invest in their future or not. We've already got the 16 acres. We bought it. So we took the 484 units off. Now the question is, do we just let that land sit there, or do we do something with it? And we've received. There is obviously there's two sides of an issue. Many people are so for it, like this is going to make our property values increase. I'm all behind it. And there's other people that are concerned about the cost of it. And that's why we on our website we created a spreadsheet, because everyone said, all right, $37 million sounds like a lot. On some of the social media, it's like, well, if you do the interest rate, it's going to cost this much. Same thing with your home mortgage. You buy a house for $100,000 after the mortgage is $350,000, but it's the same thing. So we created a calculator so the individual can go in and plug in what their assessed value of their home is. And as we know, the assessed values are usually much, much lower. Right. We used an example of one of our councilmen's houses, Susie Lord, and her assessed value was somewhere around $122,000, and her share of this would be $78 a year if we took all $37 million, and if we took it all at once. Now that's not going to happen. The average home in Cutler Bay has an assessed value of $138,000, and that would cost the average homeowner $88.54. If you had a $250,000 house, it's $150 a month roughly. And so you kind of do the math. So if you buy a $400,000 house, yes, you're probably going to be up closer to $300 a year, but your property value is probably going to go up because of this being around as well, and you get to have the amenity close to your home to use for you and your family.
And each area of town typically has something that they're very proud of. In Palmetto area, Pinecrest, so we have the Palmetto schools. I remember that very well. We have Sunnyland Park and Pinecrest Park. All right, if I got those right. And so the people of Cutler Bay are going to be able to be proud of this. And across the street, down the street, a half a mile over, here's this beautiful park where we can go with our little kids and be able to walk through there.
Right.
And so again, people, the ballots in people's homes, they need to seal it up. They need to sign it. They need to get it, make sure that the county gets it by March 22nd.
Right.
That means when you have it in your house, just do it and be done with it.
Do it and be done with it. Talk to, I really want you to learn about it. That's why we put that information out there. I don't want you to rely on social media. Again, most of the people out there are sharing their opinion. And, we just want to share all the facts that you can look at some of the conceptual designs. And again, these are conceptual. If we get the bond approved, it'll be up to the council to reach out to the citizens, which we will. It's what we want to build, and we go forward. Some people have said, well, these are tumultuous times. What if things go south really bad in the next year or two? Well, you don't need to spend that money just because you have the opportunity to. So the council would have the opportunity if things went really south to slow things down or not, depending on how well things are going or how well they're not.
And each step is very transparent. You can communicate with the citizens, and then you're going to have public meetings, and you have a newsletter that goes out, right? And so people they can have plenty of input,
right,
and make their position known.
Plenty of input, and again, people are very distrustful of government. I often say you've never seen a government project that hasn't gone over budget. But I want to remind people a couple things about Cutler Bay's staff. Most of the projects that we've received funding for, we're on this one as well. Now, if we did have the GO bond money, we could get matching money as well to help defray the cost to other parties other than us, the state level or county level. But most of the projects we've done in Cutler Bay have been award winning. We transformed Caribbean Boulevard. We transformed Old Cutler Road. Those are award winning projects. You think about the staffing level, a little over a year ago, the Florida legislature ranked Cutler Bay as the most efficient city out of 90 cities our size in all of the state of Florida. Not number 5, 4, 3, 2. We were number 1 as the most efficient city. So we're generally pretty frugal with our budget. We were also ranked as the number 1 most efficient staff in the state of Florida. So we have 2 home runs right there. Cutler Bay is a great place to live because we do honor and respect that you want to create a community for the people. And that's what we want to do. And again, this is a citizen's decision whether they want this or not. But our job as the council and as a staff is to put the opportunity out there so people can make the decision. So
there's 16 acres the city already owns on Old Cutler. When you purchased it or you traded it for some other property, a developer could have put a 400+ unit apartment building there. So you took that off the market. City Hall will be moved there, maybe, right?
If the bond goes through, yes, City Hall would be moved there.
And there'll be a park for the public to be able to go. That can be a shining example of what other cities can do, right? And certainly this is added to the strength of Cutler Bay. And we see it over the years. I've lived here, as you have, most of your life, and you've seen how it's gone up and up and up. Certainly the last 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, it's been elevated. The state's recognized you, including last summer, about being age-friendly, right? Which that means a lot of things. But just by virtue that the state recognizes you several times, says something about the city, the leaders, and the staff to be able to get that to the next point. So people, again, are going to have an opportunity to be able to do that. They can go to the website. There's plenty of things that are there.
Right.
And if we could put the website address up again, that would be great, Andres.
And there's also some community outreach. I mean, we've had over 7 or 8 community outreach meetings. We have another one this Saturday, I believe, at Cutler Ridge Park. And then you can go on our website to make sure, check on these. We're also going to some homeowners associations. The staff's been working really hard going out to make sure people know about, as much as possible about this project. And
most people, they just want to know what is, and then they can make their own decision, right? And it's when people get neglected that they get really angry. There was a movement where it went from a political thing that was done, went from the top down, didn't work.
Yeah.
It would have gone from the bottom up, it would have worked because the people have spoken. So I'm going to assume, and I hope that this passes. And then, let's say it passes. When's the next step that somebody will be able to say, okay, now what?
Well, if it passes, then we would start doing the community outreach. And so that was when we will actually work with a firm to design what should go there. So I would expect the first year you would see a data gathering stage and a design stage. So the first year, the outlay would be nowhere 37 million. The first year, the outlay would probably be in the range of $100,000 or so, as we're just doing the community outreach or working with a firm. Then the following year is when things really start getting going along. But this thing to be completed would probably be 3 to 4 years down the road.
And if somebody wants to reach you personally, they can contact you at City Hall.
They can contact me at City Hall.
And you want to hear from all sides.
I've been hearing from all sides, and I'm actually been going out door to door. So we have little flyers that we're just going out. Just,
look at this. It's hanging on the door, baby.
Yeah,
there it is.
I just want to make sure people have as much information as possible.
Yes.
So I've been going door to door to talk to people. So, I mean, if anybody sees me and wants to talk to me about it, please reach out and let me know. And again, this is our vote together. I'm a citizen just like you. I pay taxes just like you. And I'm not here advocating yes or no. I'm just making sure that you know what's out there and what the potential is, so you can make the informed decision what you want to do, whether that $80, $90, $150 a year investment in your community is something that you want to do or not.
I live in the horse country. When we first moved there, we were on well water, and we made a decision. We had a special taxing district. It was one block, all right, and we won by one vote.
Oh,
right?
wow.
One vote, all right, and that. What you realize is that we wanted different water, and we had to pay for it. No problem. We're delighted to do that. I think people will be very delighted with voting yes for this. There's plenty of people they can speak to, yourself, any of the councilmen. They can call any of the councilmen, or women, and have a conversation with them.
Yes, they can, or they can go to one of our community outreach meetings and ask questions there. And we've been broadcasting those live when we do it. So, if there's anything more that we can do to make sure the community is aware of every aspect of this project, I'm not sure what we can do. I want to commend Ralph, our town manager, and Desiree, our public information officer, for doing a great job of getting the information out there.
It's terrific. Mayor, thank you so much.
Thank you for getting the opportunity to talk about it.
Remember, folks, in your mailboxes at your house, you have the ballot. All right. You have to have it back to the
Elections Department
by March 22nd. My advice is do it. Be done with it. All right. Take a picture of it. So in case you want to call, make sure your vote counted.
And sign it. You have to sign it. If you don't sign it, they're not going to count it.
Okay.
So please sign it. And again, I appreciate the opportunity for you to let me just let the community know what we're doing. And I really appreciate Cutler Bay for being involved and just making it one of the best cities in all of Florida.
Terrific. And thanks for being a great mayor.
Thank you.
Folks, thanks for joining us, and have a great